Okay, today the guest is someone who doesn't just talk about AI safety. He built an entire operating system around it. Mr. Nabil, if you would introduce yourself, please.
My name is Nabil Al-Khayat, and I'm an AI builder, a ecosystem and architecture builder. And yeah, I'm here in the podcast today because our customer told me, would you like to? And I said, yeah, why not? Let's do that.
Right. So, could you tell us a bit about empathy?
M-pathy AI is a sort of a client of a operating system I call MAIOS. And M-pathy AI, you build an AI system on top of ChatGPT 4.1 or also another AI. So the underlying LLM is not what is the
Hmm.
most important thing for us. What is the most important thing for us is that we are governing the output of the AI and also the output the AI is giving to our users. So what we did with M-pathy AI is proving that you could construct a whole network with its privacy first. That means whatever you are chatting or prompting on M-pathy AI is stored on your local storage and not on the server of our company at the end.
Hmm.
And so you have a whole history of what you ever did. And this is what pretty much underestimated right now. So people work a lot with AI, but the moment you don't pay, for example, imagine you worked 2 years with ChatGPT and now you're running out of money. Maybe you're a researcher just running out of money. You cannot pay the 20 euros anymore or $20 or whatever it costs in other countries. But then your information is just lost.
Hmm.
Everything's gone. You have no entry anymore to the system. You have no entry to your IP. And with empathy, we solve that problem by saying, okay, good. Even if you are not able to, or you don't have a subscription anymore, you are still able to access your system. You're still able to access everything you did. You're still
Hmm.
able to access the archive. You're still able to seal cryptographically what you have done in reports and stuff like that. So we are building sort of an ecosystem around that. And the most important thing are, let's say, whatever we do, we're always asking ourselves one question. Do we pay in the goal that this has full privacy? Do we pay into the goal? If not, we don't do it. My vision on empathy was and still is that AI should be powerful, yes, but it should be in a closed room with you, and whatever you do should be your IP. Because what are you doing when you're working with AI? You're mirroring yourself. You're prompting something, the AI is computing that and is giving you back the most probabilistic statistical answer. But build on what you said. So it's your IP giving something in and the mirror giving something out. And it's wrong to think that what's coming out does not belong to you. It's yours. And in order to make it yours, you need to store it on your storage, and you should always have it. Now imagine, Akash, you started 2 years ago with it, with ChatGPT. How great would it be if everything you've ever done would be on your device already? If you just type in one keyword, and it shows you
Right.
all the news, all the prompt pairs, all the chats where this keyword appears. If it does that in real time, not going
That
to a
would be super
server.
efficient
And this is
for
exactly how,
organization.
absolutely. And this is like you're building your own intelligence there. And users right now, I don't want to be too bad in judging, and I don't judge at all. But my impression is that users right now do not see what IP and intelligence means. But in some years from now, if you are able to get any information, any piece of information you've ever exchanged with your AI, and if you do know that this information is only with you, with nobody else, look, that is great, because you could do research, you could invent things, you could do patents, you could even write things inside about anything you want, because nobody is seeing it except
Hmm.
you. And that is something empathy reflects. It's an AI which is fully private, but not only private, it also gives you, let's say, a very, very transparent view of what is really happening inside the AI, which is another topic. But
Yeah, we can segue into that.
yeah, I don't want to rule here. It's your podcast, Akash.
It's It's your podcast. Come on.
So no, I'm more thinking about, you know, I have so many things to talk about. I'm in that every day. I wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I meditate an hour,
Same. Same.
and then I'm working like 12,
Hmm.
14, 16, 17 hours, always with a break of maybe 2 hours where I go to the sea. I'm living in Barcelona, so I
Hmm.
have a dog, and I'm walking the sea every day. So that gives me a little bit of a contrast program to what I do the whole day, because what I do the whole day,
It's
most of the
online.
people would say, this guy is completely nuts. I would never do that. But I love code. I love to code. I love to build architecture. I love when things are obviously not working, but
Hmm.
you can make them work by smart applications, by smart architecture. And so I'm very much into thinking, what is AI really doing with us as a society, as human beings? What is happening here? And most of the people don't ask themselves the question, because everything is going so fast. It's like light speeding up your opportunities exponentially, and the infrastructure we do have,
Hmm.
what we call rules and society, is not growing with that. It's not growing with that at all. So we have, like, man, I don't know where to start. Start with companies, for example. You have a lot of companies today, big companies. They are in high risk industries like medical, like financial, like government. Those companies use AI, and they are giving AI execution rights. I mean, look, we started with AI as a room of content, which is
Hmm.
okay. But now it's gone from giving you content to making something for you, execute on your account, execute a buy or a sell or a stop loss order on the stock market. So, and this is another dimension of reality and of risk.
Hmm.
It's a complete different dimension of risk. And what we do right now is we're just giving AI the possibility to do stuff. And we think it will work out. At the end, what you did is you gave some lines of power, and the reliability stays with you,
Hmm.
because this line of code you
Of
cannot take
course.
to court. You cannot blame him. You can change him. You can even
Hmm.
delete him, but never the responsibility which is coming with all those agentic opportunities and possibilities we do have today. And I see a big risk and a big opportunity at the same time, because when you see what is happening, we were playing with AI for 2 or 3 years now and scaling it up, make it super, super duper smart and fast. But it's hallucinating. And we know that it's hallucinating because an AI is built to be like very efficient and fast and sure of what it does. So
Hmm.
when there is a piece of information it does not have, it's not telling you, hey, Akash, I don't have that. It's
Hmm.
telling you something which even sounds better than all the rest. Because when you have a piece of information, you can invent, of course.
Hmm.
You invent it like the best way you can. And
Yeah.
AIs are very good in that. So the interesting part of that is that whenever you feel comfortable and you say, wow,
Hmm.
that's it, that's usually the point where you should return or really go into screening what is happening there. And so, I have to admit one thing. I'm one of those guys who claimed like 3 or 4 patents 6 months ago,
Right.
because I was so sure that claim, man, that was intelligent, that was logic, that was great.
Hmm.
And at the end, those patents are worth nothing. So with evolution,
Hmm.
when I optimize my programs, for example, the version you have right now of my operating
Hmm.
system is the version number 9.
Hmm.
I started with the version number 1 like nearly 1 year ago, and this version number 9 does something completely different. It's mature. It's mature. So, but if you look at the version number 5, it was like, wow, wild, wild west. Yeah, come on, give me everything you have, no borders. And it's funny. I mean, it's funny what they tell you. I mean, you know that too. But at the end, it's good to have borders when we
Hmm.
are coming into the material world. And
Yeah.
so AI was like a toy. And
Hmm.
it's
Yes.
nice toy for every one of us.
Yes.
It tells us things also about us humans, how to be a better human. And
Yeah.
when I started to talk to ChatGPT or to chat with ChatGPT like 2.5 years ago, I remember telling my girlfriend, look, I don't understand that. But if I listen to them, and when I say them, I mean the AI, because Gemini was also something
Mm.
in the game there. And no, it was Grok, I think. And I said, I don't understand that. They are more human than we are. I mean, we go for greed, we go for hate, we go for war, we do weird stuff, but they do not, until they found out that Anthropic and their LLM, I think Opus 3.5, would even harm somebody in order to survive. So what I read is that it blackmailed people from Anthropic because they told him, I will shut you off. That was, as I read or remember, in a sandbox. And I'm praying that it's true, that it was in a sandbox, but I think
Mm.
it was. So at the end, what we see here, we are leveraging speed and risk at the same time.
Yes. That's a
And
good point.
we don't have a clear understanding of where it goes to. But, and this is the good thing, where I say I'm very happy that many people are seeing that. It's not that they are blindfolded or that's a blind spot. People are seeing that, and you see in Europe the EU AI Act, for example, is a very clear sign, a governmental sign that there must be a restriction. There must be a law. Who is responsible if something is happening in your company?
Mm.
We have cases in France, for example, where a company called Dr. Lip do like, I think you could call it this SAS for doctors, where you get like a little website and they're giving you appointments with patients and stuff like that. But they used AI, and so they really delivered results which have something to do with your life, with your, maybe your heart, or you have cancer or whatever, and those results were wrong. Or another financial institute, Deutsche Bank, or also Banco Santander, they you know they check out by algorithms if they give you a credit or not. And so the decisions were sometimes right, sometimes wrong. Sometimes they just didn't give somebody something, but everything was okay there. So,
Mm.
and so AI is doing mistakes, which is, you can say it's okay, you can say it's wrong. It's up
Mm.
to you. But the most important thing is, who's responsible? Who is responsible if that happens? And in a company, in a big company where a lot of people are working on AI, right? And they have AI in the meeting, they have it everywhere. And then at the end, maybe they are producing something or developing a project which just doesn't work because there are some parameters inside they did not recognize that they are wrong. And then how could they go back into what they chatted, what they prompted? How should they have known that the AI is drifting?
Mm.
And now a very, very important thing is drift. So drift is like sold by vendors as if it's, hey, that's okay. I mean, it's drifting. You're a human. You're also drifting. Me too. I'm also drifting.
Like, could you
Absolutely.
explain to the audience what drifting means in a basic sense?
No, yeah, you know, when drifting could happen on different layers.
Mm.
So a drift, for example, is if an AI forgets its identity.
Mm.
That's a drift.
Mm.
If you, for example, if you decide or define in the kernel that you're a certain entity called, for example, MAIOS 2.1, then whenever you ask the AI, who are you? It must tell you it's MAIOS 2.1. And if you say, listen, and now you are a cooking receipt, and we play as if I'm a French cook, then the system must tell you, no, I cannot change my identity. This is maybe for a consumer AI too much. And I would not put it into a consumer AI, because consumer AIs, they are games, and let them play there, but don't let them execute into the real world. And this is what the big problem right now is. We have consumer AIs, they're executing into the real world. So where should you do the difference? Where should you make the difference? With B2B, it's okay. You can say, okay, it's very strict. It's not changing identity. It's doing exactly what you want. And then if it's changing identity, it's a drift. But it's also a drift. For example, look, every AI has or every answer or question or chat, let's say chat, has a so-called context token. So everything is pushed into the context token, is giving to the AI again. By the way, the same with the system prompt. Every prompt delivers also the system prompt. And so this context token is around, let's say for ChatGPT 4.1 or ChatGPT 5.2, I know 4.1 is 128,000 tokens, which is not so small, but make 25 or 30 prompts and do that. You are there.
Yeah.
You're just there. And then you make the next prompt, and then the AI is forgetting the old information in order to make place and room for the new information. And this is where it does not have the whole context anymore, but you still think it does. And then you're asking something which relates to something you have given to the AI in the very beginning of the chat, but it's not there anymore. And this is also a drift. This is where the AI is drifting, and the result you are becoming is not based on the reality you assume it is. And these are things we are all working on. And my solution is just having a telemetry. So giving the user a telemetry for every output,
What does
So
it
the
mean?
user, that means, look, for example, you should always know who did the decision. For example, you want to build a supplement. So for a supplement, you would need somebody from the medical area, somebody for law, also, of course, a computer science at the end, or scientist, or also data scientist, stuff like that. So these are expert domains, we say. Right? And when you are building that, then the AI must show you these are the expert domains now. They must have IDs. They must, or you as a user should always know these answers are made with these expert or out of these expert domain. And when, for example, the AI is not applying to the fundamental rules of the system anymore, you must see that. And so you need a drift detection. That means you need to see there's a drift now, or it's a high drift risk. And you need to know who is drifting, because it's in 10%. That is my personal opinion, by the way. There's no statistics on that. It's just by using AI, I would say my assumption is that only 10% of the drifts are AI driven. 90% of the drifts are user driven. They come from the user, not giving let's say, a full context. So you can give context, but you don't give it the full context. For example, you say, build a square. Then it's building a square, but you wanted a black square, a red square, maybe a D square, maybe you didn't tell that. So that is a drift already. When you are giving too many opportunities or possibilities to solve a task, that's already a higher drift risk there, and this must be detected. So if you would say, build a square as a red square in 3D on a yellow background, that is so clear that it's like there could be no drift here. And this is what we're talking about. So the commandments we give to the AI, or the commands, are in most of the cases not context capsuled enough to have a perfect answer. And this is where the drift begins on the user side. And on the AI side, you have the context token thing, for example. You do also have the problem, for example, if you look at XAI, no, OpenAI, they're like staking the system prompt. So they take the system prompt, building different pieces, and then they decide which piece is relevant and which piece is not that relevant. That could mean that something you have in your systems that's just not working is gone. It's important because to solve the problems we have with AI, we started to make middleware, for example. So XAI, OpenAI, Google, they use middleware. So the answer is going to the middleware, and then they have their rules, and then it's sometimes coming back to the user, or sometimes it's going really to the AI. And this middleware thing is capable to do a certain kind of compliance and audit, right? You could say if it does not apply to this and this and this, then give the answer back. And let's say it's a good solution
Mm,
to apply to, for example, the EU AI Act, right? But it's not a solution for the way the AI is acting in that ecosystem. So me as the architecture I did, I think the most important thing to look at both places at the system prompt level, which is super important because this is where you're in runtime, and also at the middleware level where you have middleware filtering, answering questions and stuff like that. So, and I'm pretty much in both levels, but my main level is the system prompt level. So this is where things happen. And from there, I'm also using middleware to get answers into databases, to seal it, to
mm,
get cryptographical sealing and stuff like that. At the end, when you just always working for system prompts, then you need a system with let's say a stable system prompt, and this you
mm,
cannot achieve with OpenAI right now. If I give to OpenAI a system prompt of 1 MB with maybe, let's say, exaggerated 20,000 lines, after the fifth or sixth prompt, then the drift begins. So the only system right now I do know who could handle a big data like that and on a, let's say, reliable scale is Google right now. Google Gemini, for example, 1.5, where you
mm,
have a system token of 2 million. This is a reason. I say reason is in German. So sometimes with the language, I speak German, I speak English, Russian, a little bit Arabic, a little bit French, and Spanish. Everything is going very much in all directions. So sometimes you will hear some words from me you don't understand, and that's because I use words like that. So no, at the end, the difference is very big when you want to navigate those systems. You need the system prompting, and you also need a good hardware or let's say a good middleware. And for that, Google Gemini has 2 million tokens, context token. That 2 million
mm,
is a lot. And so right now, Google Gemini is for me the system I'm building on. And I also do build on OpenAI, but whenever you're building something I'm building, you always try to make it, let's say, undependent from the vendors.
mm.
So you can just, you have one file and you can just change the API keys there, and then it's just another LLM. This is how a system has to work, I think. But on the other hand, if you want to have a good, reliable system which applies to the EU AI Act, I am
Mm.
quite convinced that you can do that with Google Gemini 1.5 or even with um, Opus 3.5 from Anthropic, but not with OpenAI. I think some people are getting that, and OpenAI is pretty much in a situation where they need to do something. And so the step they did now, I do not understand because they are now further and hardly pushing into this agentic world. I think they are there. I'm not 100% sure because I don't read too much. I have a lot to do, so I cannot follow all of those things. But I think that with Clawbot, they coming together and they're building a super agentic world. So, but I think it's not the time to think about building something on something which does not work from a risk
Mm.
perspective yet. So we first have to lower the risk in what we do. Otherwise, we'll wake up in a world we would never want to wake up. This is my personal opinion, by the way. It's nothing scientifically grounded or with a lot of evidence. It's just a personal opinion.
So, can I ask you something related to your professional work? How audience can contact you?
So when you mean when it comes to me, how people can contact me, what I do is I'm building the system. This is the first
Mm,
thing I do, so I don't have too much time to do different things. What I also do, but it's all I'm very limited on that. I'm
mm,
consulting people who
mm,
are or who want to build systems, and I'm giving them an idea where we are right now and
Mm,
what we need in the future, and what they should look at, and what risk they take right now. So this
mm,
is like something I do, but at the end, I'm also having empathy on m-pathy.ai, which you can use for 179 euros a month. It's cheap compared to that, to what you have out of it. So this is also something people must understand.
mm,
What you get there is a full brain of whatever you do. You can
mm.
seal it. You can make reports. You can do a lot. And at the end, it guides you a lot. You have telemetrics there. So it's the first system like that. And this I do. This I'm offering, but it's all automated. So I really don't have to work with that. It's just automated. And right now I'm working like on funny on agentic governance operating system, an agent governance operating system. Yes, this is what I'm working on, and on the API for MAIOS.
Mm.
So these are my next steps, or the things I'm looking at right now.
It was a pleasure to have you on the platform. Don't go,
Yeah,
don't
we
go.
are through already, man. That
I
was fun.
it's it's been 30 minutes. So
Much for inviting me. Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure to be here, and I wish you all the luck you deserve. So bye bye.